Good morning. Hi, I'm Frank Messina, and this is the July 14, 2026 meeting of the Chatham Historical Commission. Before we start formally, there are some announcements. Please note, this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording this meeting or using AI note-taking, please notify the chairman. Seeing none, pursuant to Governor Healy's March 28, 2025, signing of Chapter 2 of Acts of 2025, extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, 30A-20, until June 30th, 2027, excuse me. This meeting of the Chatham Historical Commission is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder for people who would like to listen to the meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 508-945-4410, conference ID 736-403-099, hashtag, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Chatham TV, Xfinity Channel 1072, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. First order of business is roll call. Bob Lear, Vice Chair.
Here.
Nancy Barr, Clerk.
Yeah.
Stephanie Hamilton.
Yes.
Robert Stevens, absent. Janet Tennyson.
Here.
Robert Wilson.
Here.
Peter Donovan, alternate.
Here.
And I'd like to welcome Maura Cook, who's our new alternate, just sworn in, and the chair is here. So we have a full complement of members in the sense that Peter Donovan will be acting as the alternate and a voting member, replacing Robert Stevenson, who's away. Okay. We have the minutes of June 16th, 2026. I would just comment, these are the last minutes. Unfortunately, we've lost Annie Hayes, and we're going to miss her. But I'm sure Christina's going to do a phenomenal job.
I'm not. Oh, next person will do a great job.
Oh, sneaky. Yes.
Page 4, the 5th paragraph. Location on the hill means that it would lost prominence. It would lose, it should be.
Did you get that?
Thank you.
Anything else?
I just wondered if in same page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, was the straw vote to see if we'd be willing to consider the structure moving? I guess I'm asking you, Frank. I'm not sure that was real clear, but if that's
Which paragraph again?
It's the third up from the bottom. It starts with Mr. Messina.
We can rewatch and see. You don't
Yeah, I
think
just
it was
can't
in relation to this, the move?
I don't know if he asked us, would you consider moving the structure? I think he asked us a different question, but
Okay.
maybe I wasn't clear.
Okay, we'll check into that.
Okay. It's kind of awkward. I really don't remember what the situation was. Willing to consider moving the structure. I assume the structure we're talking about was the historic structure. Well, I think, yeah, and at that time, it's correct. I think it's correct. At that time, the consensus was we wanted the structure to stay where it was.
That's right.
And everybody voted no. No, they wanted the structure to stay where it was. Okay, and then I think I then asked the applicant if they would consider options, other, changes. But okay, I think that makes sense, and they can always go to the video. Yeah, I assume we keep them forever. All right, so we I think we have corrections. Can I get a motion for acceptance of the minutes as corrected?
So move, we
Thank you.
accept the minutes?
Get a second on that?
Second.
Thank you very much. Okay, no other comments? Bob?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yep.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Okay, and the chair votes yes. Thank you very much. The rest of the meeting should be this efficient. Okay, moving ahead, we have potentially quite a long agenda. I think there's 7 different applications or continuances. So we hope to get things moving as quickly as we can. And also, we may decide to take a break or a brief adjournment to give people a chance to stretch their legs. Having said that, one of the things we should think about, just quickly before we start, we only have one meeting in the summer, and this is what happened. So it's something to think about in the future, whether we want to have multiple meetings, as we usually do, so we don't have a meeting which is potentially long like this. And it's the summer, but yet we're all here, except Robert. So it's something that we should think about in the future, because it just avoids this. Because there are legal obligations once they receive an application, you have to move. You can't just keep it out forever. Yes?
I have a hard stop at 12:45.
12:45. I'll keep that right there, 12:45, Nancy. All right, let's go. All right, the first application is 260113 is continued from June 16th. 2026, 45 School Street to be heard in, this is a continuation of a application which we heard of a moving and historic structure in the National Register District from one part of the property to the other. We do have, and we're going to let Mr. Riley, Mr. Litchfield speak in a minute. It's not that bad. Come on. You guys, after a while, Riley, Litchfield, but I do want to comment, you had received this morning, and something which came in, I requested when we received the revised application, or the change as proposed by the applicant on School Street, and we received different drawings, and I think at the meeting I had suggested maybe reduce the impact of the new home, maybe, even though we don't have any authority relative to that design, but we were so concerned about the streetscape and maybe to lessen the impact, an alternate design, specifically within the garage, and they have done that. I sent those changes to Elizabeth Kellum, who's replacing Sarah Korjeff. Sarah actually got involved too, and they looked at it and actually came down and took a look at the street. And I'll just read this. Let's read that into the record. Why don't you read that right now, because I think it's important.
Note from Elizabeth.
Yes.
This is an email from Elizabeth Kellum of the Cape Cod Commission dated Monday, July 13th, 2026. Thank you for sending the revised plans. After reviewing the new material and based on my observations during the site visit, my original comments are still applicable with one small addition and have been included in full below. It is up to the this is quote, "It is up to the Historical Commission to determine whether the relocation is a substantial alteration. This will depend on whether the Historical Commission believes the relocation will preserve the building's historically significant or character-defining features, and whether or not it will change important relationships to the surrounding district. Given the project proposes relocation rather than fully or partially demolishing it, and because the building is not individually listed on the National Register and does not have recorded significance with its current location on the lot, the Historical Commission could find that relocation is a preferable option to ensure preservation." Continuing, in determining whether it's a substantial alteration or not, the Historical Commission should seek confirmation from the applicant in regard to the particulars of the relocation, that the building will remain intact and historical details preserved. Clarification regarding those details could be addressed by the applicant in the revised application through narrative or on the site plan to provide further confirmation of character-defining feature retention. If the commission does not have enough information to determine that the building will be fully preserved, the relocation may be considered a substantial alteration, in which case it would be referred to us, end quote.
Okay, in addition to that, we did receive a revised Form B. Did we distribute that? No. Well, anyway, just for information, there was some minor changes to the Form B by Eric Dre, just to keep things, copacetic and correct. Okay, having said that, Mr. Litchfield?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Bill Litchfield here on behalf of the applicants, Dr. and Mrs. Heldreth, and with me is Bill Masiello, the architect. We appreciate Ms. Barrs having read the updated comments from the Cape Cod Commission. We share we endorse the suggestions that we provide you with assurances and details that the building will be fully preserved, that the details of it will be preserved when it's been relocated. We also appreciate your having asked our friend Eric Dre to take a further look and update the Form B, although, as the chair said, there was nothing, I think, notable in that regard. There's sort of an open question as to whether Chapter 158 includes relocation within the definition of demolition, but without waiving any rights in that regard, we acknowledge that the Cape Cod Commission suggests that it can have impact, and we acknowledge that. However, I would also remind you that under your regulations and under Chapter 158, relocation is suggested as an alternative to demolition. And as Ms. Kellum noted in her updated comments, it may well be that relocation of the building is by all means a preferable alternative to demolition, something which Dr. and Mrs. Heldreth don't want to do. In the prior Cape Cod Commission request, they asked for details on the move, and you asked for some modifications to the plan. So with that, if I could turn it over to Bill Masiello to talk both about the move and the revisions.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, hello, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. So some of the comments that we had from the last meeting were particularly in regards to, what's the property going to look like when the house is relocated? There was a lot of commentary about, we were trying to cut down the beginning of the site, entrance to the site, introduce a long stone wall, so improve some of the grading for maintenance purposes and for sight lines. However, it seemed that people were very concerned about the streetscape, and that was the first and foremost item. How is it going to appear? So with going back and taking a look at it and taking everybody's comments into consideration, there was a few things that we looked at. First item was the garage being on that upper level. Well, I'm going to just go back. We understand that the Heldreths had already explained they want one level living. They want to be on that property. So they would like to, pursue that and continue with it. There was a comment about the garage being a dominant structure kind of in the foreground. We've removed that. We've taken the garage, put it around where the existing auto court is now on that property, and put a one-car drive-under garage. So it's got you can see that little image that's on the right-hand corner. It's got a little carriage-style door. It's got some gable details. It's a very understated facade for that elevation of the house, so it's not overpowering the property. And then the upper part of the property is a one-level house it's one and a half stories, actually. So there's primary bedroom on the first floor, kitchen, living space, and then on the second floor are a couple of additional bedrooms and an office. But all of that is within the maximum footprint that's allowed, for that size property. They do want to maintain the ability to drive directly off School Street, to have a drop-off at the front door. They want the front door facing School Street, not the reverse, which is one of the reasons why, first of all, the house that is currently there, relocating it onto the other property, gives them an opportunity to utilize this beautiful piece of land and also change the characteristic of the existing house by relocating it and putting the front door facing School Street, which is something that they really felt very passionately about, rather than demolishing the house, because that was the other opportunity. We just take the property, take it down, but they're obviously investing quite a sum of money to have it relocated. So the other issue is the process of the relocation. There was a lot of concern about, oh, how is this going to be relocated? Is it going to be damaged? Are we going to reconstruct? You know, the process of relocating houses apparently has been going on for quite some time in Chatham, from what I understand. So there's a very careful way to do this. You know, it's a 75-year-old home. It's got very solid bones. It's a really, really wonderfully built structure. So they're absorbing the extra cost to have this relocated. The key benefits of this are preserves the local character by keeping the house without tearing it down. It's going to maintain the unique craftsman style and colonial revival architecture. And because it's such a solid house, it's ideal for relocating to another location. And the other part is, you know, being environmentally responsible, it's not going to end up in a dumpster and in a landfill. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty strong attribute of preservation. Instead of taking it and eliminating it from the history of Chatham, the intent is that it will be preserved. So moving a house of this size, even on a gradual slope, it requires obviously a lot of engineering, and there will be more engineering involved. I'm not saying every detail is worked out here, but there is a process for this. The existing foundation has to be opened up. We have to put structural steel below the primary supports of the house, elevate it, and gradually move it across with a hydraulic lifting and jack system on independent wheel suspension vehicles, and gradually bring it down the hill and bring it to that location. It will be relocated on a brand-new foundation at the same elevation relationship from the first floor to the grade that it's at now. However, the house will be rotated 180 degrees. And the other idea is that so that it's being maintained as a part of the fabric of the district, the facade of the relocated house would be in line with the property that's to the left of it. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I've answered some questions about the transportation of this house from one property to another, and there's more details in what Bill had handed to you as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And recognizing that you have a lengthy hearing today and that you may have questions, I just wanted to make a couple of observations about what is involved in terms of preserving this house. Long before we had Chapter 158, we had an historical commission. Some of you may recall when Claire Baisley was the long-term chair of the commission. And in the 1970s, there was and it's in your files, there was a sit-down discussion, we'll call it, for lack of anything else, among a lot of what I'll call the old-timers in the neighborhood. And one of them, who lived literally around the corner from this house on Hallett Lane, was a fellow named George Lake. And your files reflect a lengthy quote from George as part of that session that the Historical Commission held, devoted to the old village. And George said, houses were moved around quite a bit, you know, in those olden days. And one place down there at Eastward Point was owned by Willie Gould and Dan Harding. They got into a fight, and one of them wouldn't sell the other his half, so they took a tape measure and measured it and took a saw and sawed it right in two. Then old Dan Harding, he was quite clever, so he took some dories and lashed them together, put his half in those dories, and floated up to the mill pond. And I'll be damned if that cottage isn't there right now. So that's some precedent for moving houses. But George went on to say they used to bring houses over from Nantucket. A great many of the houses down here in the village have been moved from other places. One of the biggest industries in Chatham, moving houses. My mother bought her house in 1917 while it was moved from a road that was down where the beach is now. goes on and on and on about how moving houses, even in the old village, is a part of Chatham's history. There's recently a story in the paper about two Botticelli paintings being relocated at the Uffizi Gallery. It was controversial, but they were preserved. Factually, they were improved. What we are proposing to do is consistent with the history of the old village. We revised the house to reflect some of the concerns that you have. But I think that relocating the Crosby house to the lower level of this property is something, as I said last time, which I think should be commended rather than be subjected to what would at least arguably be a punitive delay. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, address me with the questions, please, before we, so we don't get, let me recognize you before you.
I didn't
before-
say anything.
No, I know that. You raised your hand, and I'm saying, I'm mentioned to other members of the board. Okay, I just want to put this thing in perspective before we get into the questions. We went back to the Cape Cod Commission again to look for clarification, because we do have this issue and understanding of, what really is the issue. What are we concerned about? We're concerned about preserving the house, we're concerned about the street space, and what is the authority? And that's why I went back to the Cape Cod Commission and kind of pressed them to give me more information and to give us more information so we understand the boundaries. And I appreciate Elizabeth's comments relative to what we can and cannot do. And I just say for the future, it's something, an attorney once said that we're nothing but a bunch of well-meaning volunteers, and that's very true. Okay, very few of us have a deep background in historic preservation, so it's something to think about, and having our own, some historical commissions have preservation consultants, actually working for them, so to get some guidance. And so I just want to publicly acknowledge the appreciation of the Cape Cod Commission, and whether or not we refer it to them is not necessarily the issue, is the fact that they're there to provide a resource and information. And I think she did lay out very well some options, and I just wanted to make that comment. I'm sorry, Steph, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know if you realize.
Stephanie?
I don't know if you realize that we lost a house this year, so we're being very conservative. We had an old house that was going to be moved, and we lost it.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, respond. Given what's involved here, I think that you can be reasonably well assured that Dr. and Mrs. Heldreth and Bill Masiello are not going to pick this up on a trampoline and bounce it down the hill. It is a valuable house which they have spent the last 15 years caring about and preserving. So I do understand what you're saying. Again, we almost lost or partially lost a house at 3 Main Street, corner of Silverleaf Avenue a few years ago when it was blown down during construction. A house which, interestingly, was moved within the old village. It was originally on the other side of Main Street.
One comment, if I could, on that subject, Stephanie. During the site visit, now, we didn't really get into a discussion here, but during the site visit, I had asked you, what are you going to do? Are you going to go into the street? And you commented that you planned to go behind it and with a rail system. Is that true?
That is true. That is true.
Why don't you just give a
Yes, that is
little
true.
more
It's not going to enter the street and be dropped down. It'll go down the side of the back side of the property, down the gradual slope, and it's going to have to be done very carefully, but it will be done. And they'll use cribbing to level it up, but there'll still be, a steel frame.
So you're not going to bring are you going to bring a truck and lift it? And also, but what the rail, is the house going to sit on the rails and then be pulled?
That's one idea of how to do it, and there are multiple ways of handling this. So until we actually finally engineer how we're going to do that, this is what we're suggesting now. When we get into a little bit further, we may change that to something that would be
Okay.
more appropriate.
Okay, and if and when, I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I just want to, Christina, what we should do, make sure within the determination, whatever it is, if the house is moved, that we don't tell the building department how to do things, but we can acknowledge to the building department that we're concerned with the move, and the applicant had indicated that he would potentially use a rail system, which is obviously much safer than taking it in the
The
street.
exact means and methods still need to be determined.
The means and method, yeah. It's just an acknowledgement.
Okay.
You know, the process, very simply, we approve what you got here. If we approve it, it's turned over to the building department, and they look at our drawings and our notes to see, and 99%, they do agree with us. Sometimes they don't. You know, we don't have final authority. It's the building department.
There will be other permits necessary, Board of Health for septic and building department moving for things like that. But the intent is, as Bill said, keep it on the property, not in the street, and obviously preserve it.
Okay. All right. Nancy? Yes.
Can I clarify that aside from moving the structure and putting it on a new foundation, are there any other changes being made, windows, doorways, roof, facade of the historic house?
As we explained, the old deck, or the deck is being
Yes.
removed, but that's not historic.
Okay, so there's no other changes? You're not replacing any of the historic materials or?
The intent is to keep it exactly the way it is and relocate it in place as it is today.
Okay, thank you.
I should clarify, the garage building is also being moved further, but that's not a part of this structure.
Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Lear.
First, a question about what you handed out this morning, Bill. Is that intended to be in response to the change in the Cape Cod Commission's letter? Here are the details that you should be asking for, or whatever, or just, yeah?
Oh, me, okay. I wasn't sure which Bill. Bill on the left, Bill on the right.
He wrote it.
Yes, no, the idea was in response and how, how it's actually, the details of how it's going to be moved. And this is one presentation of how it could be moved.
I
Like I said, those
apologize.
final details. But the existing house is going to be maintained completely the way it is right now. Nothing is going to change about it at all.
Well, for example, you mentioned heavy-duty multi-wheeled structural dollies. I think makes sense to me, but Frank was talking about rails, and you were going to have it on rails.
That's
So-
a different way of handling it. Like I said, the means and methods of how we're going to do this, it's going to be engineered. And until we get to the point where we're actually going to decide to move it, then we're going to look at the hill, look at the engineering piece of every single point in that house and how it's going to be lifted up and relocated.
We can appreciate the concern that the commission has about the means and methods of relocating it. It was a house on Coral Road before we had Chapter 158, owned by a man named Charles Shepard.
True.
Somebody was going to preserve it, picked it up and dropped it by accident, quote unquote. That's not going to happen here.
Okay, I apologize. You know, I just realized you handed this 2.5-page document. I didn't read it, okay? I don't know if the members of the commission have read it or not. So, you know, Bill, just to make it clear, can you just synopsize what it is you gave us?
Yes, basically, it's just the response. So what it is just I put this together as a basic discussion of what we're talking about, the history of the house. The reply for the Cape Cod Commission is in here, and then our reply to some of their comments in regards to, they were, looking at means and methods, how we're going to preserve the details, how we're going to move the house. And I think that was the overall question that came from the Historical Commission last time we met. So the last two pieces of this, it's a, argument for relocation and then the relocation process. It's really, that's the focus.
The background section is from Form B. It's not language you haven't seen before. We simply wanted you to
Okay.
all have it in one place. So the first page, background, that's no disrespect, but essentially cut and pasted from Form B.
Exactly.
Did members want to spend a couple of minutes just looking at it? Okay, I'm not going to read it into the record. It's 2.5 pages. No.
I read it.
You read it? Okay, sorry, I was
It
busy.
doesn't say any,
Say again? No? Okay.
Right.
All right.
What Mr. Litchfield may recognize this complaint on my part, but it'd be helpful if it was dated so we know where it fits in the scenario.
All right. Any other questions? I'm sorry.
I didn't
There's no date on this missive.
prepared. If you want to annotate your versions, it was sent to me on July 13.
Well, I'm just,
Yeah.
when you get a giant pile of things, where this fits in the whole process is,
So
I think, significant, certainly in this case.
we'll date it today.
Right.
There you go.
Provided to you today,
It's a
perfect.
good date.
One other question on the I guess, the streetscape, if nothing else. You provided, and this is on, doesn't have a page number or whatever on it, this previously,
Oh, okay.
the outline of the existing house compared with the proposed new house.
Yes.
Bob, let me let Christina bring that up. You want to refer to that? Yeah, just so the public can see what you're talking about, all right? It'll take a second. Because there are at least 3 or 4 people out there. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, that I understand. Now, just to make this more difficult, you provided for this hearing drawings or renditions denoted A over 1.1, which is the, I guess, the comparable streetscape without that red outline. My question is does that, if that red outline were put on here, would that be any different in terms of the amount of coverage of the building?
Well, it's a
question.
different view. One of the views is kind of skewed from the sort of looking directly west. That particular view that I submitted to you was from the southwest, so looking as if you're coming from the
Right,
corner
right.
of the property. So it's a slightly different view.
But it would be, absent the garage, I guess, that much higher and more prominent in the proposed revision that you're providing there?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Which is
Whether
more-
the
which is
red
more prominent?
outline-
The red outline be more prominent? Yes. The red outline would be more prominent here on this one, in this view as well.
Okay.
Because it's closer, that house is set back a little further away.
All right, that's all I have. Thanks for those clarifications.
So was, in your current proposal, the new house is set back more than it was in the previous one, or less?
It's rotated slightly, and it's about the same.
Okay. I see what Bob was getting at.
The new house will be completely compliant. It will meet the 25-foot street setback from under the zoning bylaw, the sideline setbacks and things like that.
You don't have to go to zoning?
I would never, that's not up to me.
You're not planning on going zoning, okay.
It will meet all setbacks,
Yeah,
however.
okay. All right. I think if there's no other questions, I think it's time for us to fish or cut bait here. When we met the last time, and got a consensus, and I guess the concern among the members, if I could articulate it for the public in addition, was similar to what is in the Cape Cod Commission. Certainly, there's no question in my mind, we always want to preserve houses, but we're more about preserving houses, in this case, in the Old Village, with what the public, people nearby, have made a very strong case about the changes to the streetscape and this property being such a, it's not just the property, the house, but the street, how it's set back and how it's set up with, and that there are going to be significant changes. So I think at this particular point, my own personal feeling, maybe I should not give it first, but, I think the applicant has done a lot to try and to satisfy some of our needs or some of our desires and minimizing the changes to the streetscape by getting rid of that garage. It's not two, I think the other one was a 2-car garage. It's a 1-car garage. It's moving to the back. It kind of softens the impact, but there's no question there's impact. The question in my mind, and the question before the commission, we're not dealing with the relocation of the house as being a substantial alteration in the sense that, yeah, they're going to save it, but is it still a substantial alteration to the National Register District, and specifically the Old Village National Register District, and that this property is going to change so significantly? Now we have more hydrangeas, which Chatham needs, more hydrangeas, okay? We got a stone wall, we didn't have one, things like that, and it's changing. So is that change, in fact, a substantial alteration? And that's the question. And what are we going to do about it? So Are you ready to make decision time? Just, again, with consensus, we won't vote yet, we'll do a consensus, just discussion. Robert?
Thank you for the opportunity to comment, and I obviously did visit the property and looked over all the revised plans. To me, I agree with Frank that preserving the streetscape is the most critical thing, something that's attractive as you enter the village. And it's true that the house being up on a hill prominent is, if there's some way to redo this project and leave that thing up top and build something for yourselves down lower, I would prefer that. But I do see several things that you have in this that ameliorate the pain for me. Ameliorate. One is there's a hedge there hiding your new house. If you look at one of these views, you don't even see your house. Can you show that one? I don't know if you have that one.
Is that the one that's on? This is the new house there.
Right there.
Well, there was a hedge,
That's
yeah,
it.
there it is. Yeah, the hedge sort of hides, if anyone doesn't like the new house, there's a hedge hiding it, and some nice flowers and hydrangea. Secondly, the garage has moved out of the way. It's not offensive, and you reworked the driveway. I think that's great. The historic house itself is not changed, and it's moved down and presented to the people entering the village, and so they do get to see it, so that's good. And the house has it's only 1.5 stories. It's not a looming thing that's trying to be prominent as you enter the village. So with those ameliorating factors, I can sort of almost live with allowing it to be moved. But
Yes,
I would really like to hear the rest of the commission.
yeah. Steph?
I think that this is probably the best way to preserve the old house if you're going to be building the new house. I agree. I'd rather have the old house stay up there, but
Janet?
Well, I can understand the need for one-story living, when you age. And if it were left up to me, I would have just assumed that the decision were made to leave the historic house where it is and build the new house down below, in the back where it wouldn't be seen. Personally, I agree with what Robert has said as far as, the circumstances, but regarding the Cape Cod Commission, it will change important relationships to the surrounding district. It's in the historic district. It's in a defining spot in the historic district. There's no way to change that. It's going to be entirely different. The relationship to the other houses in the neighborhood is going to be changed, and the relocation, I believe, is a substantial alteration.
All right, Nancy?
I think we consider this under two things, and under Chapter 158, I believe the relocation is something we would support in almost every other context. And we are grateful for preservation of the historic structure. And as Bill eloquently said, moving is something that we generally are pushing for, and putting delays in place to try to organize and, so I think under 158, I would say that the moving the house, I would not use that. I would not issue a demolition delay on that. Under the Old Village and the National Register, I always feel like I would defer to what the Cape Cod Commission is giving us as guidance, because we would be sending it to them. And my reading of their feedback, although she does mention the streetscape and the importance of the relationships, and I agree with all my colleagues on that, she also makes a point to say that there's no recorded significance with its current location, and spends most of her guidance time talking about the preservation of historic details And so I think if we sent it to the Cape Cod Commission, they would approve it. And I have no desire to put somebody through that process just to put somebody through that process. So my feeling is, under both of the statutes that we operate, that that this plan would be something that I would support.
Okay, where were we? Bob?
I forgot to mention when I was talking to Mr. Litchfield that George Lake is not my idea of a good source of information. He was exceedingly eccentric, to say the least. I feel that the way I did at the last hearing, that's one of the reasons I asked to get clarity with this red outline of the house. This is a very prominent house. It's a major factor. It's the only one that looks like that. It's part of one of the few entryways into the old village. And moving it down out of the way to a subservient location is, I believe, a substantial alteration, and therefore should be referred to the commission. I don't think it's our business to predict what that commission would do. If we think something's appropriate, then we should rule that way and let them, if they want to do what's wrong, if you will, let them do it.
Big time, Bob. Peter?
I think, the applicant's in a unique situation here, and I think it's great they're able to relocate the house close by and preserve all the details. And they did listen to us and make some changes, so I would support the current plan.
You would support it?
Yes.
Nora, new guy on the block, but do you have any comments or observation on what you've heard so far?
Well, I just think that gambrel style is such the new format in the town. And I just wonder, what if everybody wants to put a new gambrel in front of their house? And how would that change the village over time?
Yeah. It's a good way to get more cubic square feet in the house. Okay, well, I appreciate the comment. I guess I'm up. This one really, does bother me. We seem to have 4 members of the commission supporting approval, and myself, which makes my vote immaterial, which is great. Maybe I should abstain and keep everybody happy. But, as much as I feel this is going to significantly change the streetscape of the old village, it's the entryway, and very few people are going to be happy about it. But I don't have to live there, but I think, I'll be honest with you, I came into this meeting thinking, well, the easiest thing to do, or the best thing to do, is to let the Cape Cod Commission decide, because they've got more, they could ask more of the applicant than we can. They have more authority to do that. And we have verbal assurances, and which we hope to get into writing, to ensure the house would be safe. And I think, Janet hit the nail on the head. Just put the new house down at the other side. I mean, it's obvious. And the reasons given for not wanting to put the new house down there was their view. And that just bothers me. The view. What is the view? It's not like you're on the ocean. So I would, unfortunately, even with these changes, it still, is a significant change. And I would prefer to, I will vote no, that it should be referred to the Cape Cod Commission, because I think they have more authority, and they can get some of the better assurances that we can, or maybe encourage the applicant not to do it. So, all right, well, we kind of have a consensus.
So are you making a motion?
I'm sorry?
There's no motion yet, so anybody can.
There's no motion, I'm saying.
Right, so somebody could move to refer it. You don't
course.
have to do it the other way.
Yeah, I'm
Then
sorry.
see what we vote.
I understand. We're not voting, we're just.
We're saying that you would deny, anyways, you said I would go against it, but there's no motion to go
I know,
for or against.
but
Okay.
I'm asking people to where you're going, how you think you're going to vote. You're not voting, but it's in my view, it's a good way to get it out, because it helps, let me finish, it helps other members understand and potentially, it's a deliberation amongst ourselves, and that's what it is.
Yeah, but I have not guaranteed how I'm going to vote depending on the
sorry?
motion. But don't, like, you've taken, okay,
Don't
never
tell-
mind. I haven't given
Nancy,
you my vote yet.
Nancy, don't tell me how to do it. Everybody can express themselves the way they want to express themselves, all right? So, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I'm telling you, I have mixed emotions. I don't know how I'm going to vote. I told you both ways. So that's the issue.
And I'm telling you, I don't know how I'm going to vote, so don't have me on some
I
vote.
don't, I'm just giving the sense of consensus, all right? Yes, sir.
Just to
quick
respond
question,
very
yes.
briefly, if I could, to some of the comments. I understand the preference that the house be left at the top of the hill. In a few weeks of involvement in public affairs and public policy, I have never been one jumping up and down about private property rights. Having said that, Dr. and Mrs. Heldreth actually own this property, and if they would like to have a view of the mill pond, I think that's their right.
Understood.
And very simply put, as Mr. Masiello said, they want to live at the top of the hill.
Understand.
Down below. So I understand your concern.
Okay.
The Heldreths disagree.
Well, okay. Look, we're going to end it now. Let's have something really material.
I just want to say, that in order for them to be up top, they have to move the other house, but maybe that's the best way to save the house.
Understand. Okay. I really appreciate the deliberation and the fact that the members are really seriously taking this, and it's what we're all about. And I do appreciate it. But we're going to move on. But before we vote, I'd like to get the public comment, because there is some people in the audience who may want to speak, or, yes, come forward. And I think we might have any members from online?
Hello, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Uni Burley from Friends of Trees. Your focus seems to be on the streetscape. No one has mentioned the historic elm that is right by the driveway as you come in to the left. And it is of utmost importance to us that that is not damaged, that it is preserved. It has a plaque on it that says, "Historic elm planted in the 1800s, designated historic landmark to be honored and preserved for future generations." And that was put up by the Elm Research Institute from Harrisville, New Hampshire. And it's the only Dutch elm existing in town from the original plantings years ago that did not fall prey to the disease. So,
Well, let me assure you, and I know Mr. Litchfield's going to jump in, we did have that discussion in the first meeting, and that it would be protected, but I
didn't hear it today, and
No, that's okay.
I felt it's important.
No, and I appreciate that, and we'll get Mr. Litchfield one more time, I'm sure,
We
to
really do,
indicate.
Friends of Trees request that there be no damage because the limbs go way out towards where the garage is and where the house will be moved. So we'd appreciate your consideration in making certain that this historic
Yeah.
creature remains to be in town. So thank you very much.
Well, we did, and Mr. Litchfield, could you just expand on that a little bit to give assurances?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Dr. and Mrs. Heldreth have every intention and are committing to preserving at least that tree, and actually there are several other important trees. I don't know whether we should at some point consult with Ms. Holt as your president or you, but we will
Friends of
certainly
Trees.
do that. Notwithstanding the commitment that the Heldreths have made, the last thing that I want is an irate Mrs. Burley.
You got the nail on the head on that one. All right. Okay, any member of the public else? Oh, introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning, I'm Fred Miller. I live at 285 Main Street, the corner of School and Main. There are two homes between me and 45 School Street. I have some observations I'd make before I say what I'm concerned about. I purchased my 1825 circa home in 1980. I moved here in 85. My children graduated from the Chatham High School. I've been a voting resident since 1985. So I've lived in this neighborhood a very long time. Not quite as long as Ike Rogers, who owned it before me, who moved in 1919. As an Old Village homeowner, I was very supportive of the historic district. and supported its creation, understanding that it would put restrictions on me and others in the neighborhood and those who would purchase the homes once I am deceased. And I did it, as others did, anticipating that when people bought their homes in the historic district, they would understand that there was a commitment to sustaining the homes and the streetscape. I'm not against change. There have been changes made to my home to make it work for first floor living. And as some of you on this commission will recall, when 305 Main and 277 Main were before you, I appeared and made comments. And particularly with 305, the commission, with the cooperation of the owner and the architect and the Cape Cod Commission, ended up a terrific solution
Yes.
that maintained that home as part of the entry to the old village. And you may recall that I came and said I supported it, just as I did on 277, which just got a preservation award. So I'm not against change. And my last observation first, was, before I say what I think about this house, is I once had the opportunity to have a long discussion with Norm Abrams. Some of you may remember him from this old house. And Norm observed to me that we ought to preserve a few homes as museums. But the way to preserve most of our homes is to live in them, adapting them for life in the century in which we live, but also understanding we are stewards of those homes. And if we take it on, it's our responsibility to make sure we pass it on as part of our historical and cultural patrimony. I would also say that Norm was not against change. He had a salt box, and he put a window in the top so there'd be light at the top of the stairs. So it's not like you can't change old homes. So what does that mean for me about 45 School Street? I certainly resonate with the owner's desire for first floor living. It took a lot to adapt 285 Main Street, so that was possible. But moving and relocating that house concerns me. Like so many others, I regularly walk up Stool Street, often with people new to the community. We get to the top of the hill, and people say, "Why is that house facing the way it's facing? Why is it the back door?" And I'll say, "Well, think about it." And in a minute they say, "I bet they had a view of the ocean when it was built, and now the trees are there." I said, "Yep, I've lost some of my view." And when I agreed and supported the applications for 305 and 277, I lost partial water views. But I believed it was more important to keep the architecture and the streetscape, even for some loss to me. So I don't think it's an accident that Cosby built the home the way he did. And I think he realized he was trying to fit that house in the series of houses from Main Street to Hallett. And the change, I understand, I get what they're trying to do. It really will change the streetscape. And the issue of the Old Village Historic District was to preserve a streetscape. And if you remember when the power went out one summer a couple years ago, absent the sound of generators, if you walked in the old village that night and you saw the candlelights and the silence, you had an opportunity to experience the mid-1800s. And on my corner, I regularly meet people trying to figure out which way to go to the light and see the village. And either way works. But if you walk up School Street, you experience the patrimony of our historic culture, our architecture, the eccentric people who lived here. So it would be my wish that they'd find some way to adapt the house, as 305 did, as 277 did, and as 285 did. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other members, public, anybody online? All right, well, let's conclude this. Bob, can you generate a motion we can discuss?
I guess I'm back to Ms. Barr's question, if you will. It's which direction, not question, but
Well-
which direction to
Well,
go with it.
why don't you do your personal, what do you, go ahead, make a motion. Let's get a
All
discussion
right.
started, or else we're going to be here all
Well,
day.
I'll do an easy one first, and it's move the Chatham Historical Commission find that the building located at 45 School Street is historically significant because it in whole or in part 75 years old or more, and is located within a historic district, and it possesses architectural value or significance in terms of period and style.
I'll second that.
Okay? I don't think there's any other need for discussion on that, or the members of the public. Bob?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes?
Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Peter Donovan?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Bob, why don't you do the referral, and then we'll take it from there.
Oh, the second part.
Say again?
Should he finish the second part of the first motion?
Well, that's just, we made it historic district. Now, the question is.
The
do we
demo.
refer it-
It's about,
It could be, let me talk about, it could be it could be a chapter 158 or the Cape Cod Commission referral. Either one, Bob.
right, okay. Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done, dated July 7th, I think, will materially diminish the historic significance of the building. Therefore, the commission imposes demolition delay in the amount of 17 months.
Okay.
Second.
All right, this is, we have the authority to do both, referral to the Cape Cod Commission and impose a demolition delay. If it's a full 17 months or not. It doesn't have to be 17 months, but, it's up to you. So do we have a second on the motion? So a discussion. Here is a discussion. My view that whatever we do, I think 17 months is punitive. We have used the 17 or 18 months, as a, I wouldn't say punitive, but when we had an applicant that we really were never going to get anything done, so we wanted them to think hard. In my view, I think 17 months is too punitive, Bob, and I would prefer something less, 6 months, which would coincide, if we refer it to the Cape Cod Commission, the time in which the Cape Cod Commission would properly act. So that's my view. So having said that, we'll take a vote if somebody feels 17 months is appropriate or not. You're up, Bob. Wow. You're voting to impose a demolition delay of 17 months.
What about,
That's the only choice I have?
No,
Right now
you
you
can
do.
vote no, and then we redo it.
Right.
Okay.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Janet?
so if we don't do this, then they don't have time to rethink anything and reconsider. This doesn't go to the Cape Cod Commission.
You could vote, if you vote no, you're not imposing 17 months. You could modify the 17 months. I didn't make a motion, so we're voting on 17 months. Yes or no?
Do you feel 17 months is too long?
You could we'll still have a vote about the Cape
Right.
Cod Commission.
Right.
Oh,
Excuse me, can I just speak one? If you all say no to the 17 months, I don't think you can make another motion for 6 months. You have to amend the motion on the floor.
Why don't you amend the motion for less if you think it, or vote yes to 17 months?
Don't you have to finish?
I don't get this, I'm going to wait to vote. You go ahead, Nancy.
No.
Okay? Sorry. Bob?
I'm glad to amend to 6 months if you want to do it
6
that
months?
way.
I would second that motion. I think it's better, less, more appropriate. Okay? Why don't you withdraw the motion, Bob, please?
I'll withdraw the motion for 17 months and change it to 6 months.
Okay. All right. So we're voting on the amended motion, 6 months.
On the National Register.
Bob? Robert?
No, for the reasons I mentioned. I'm
Okay.
okay with the
Steph?
proposition.
No.
You could still, I know you're confused, Janet. We could still refer it to the Cape Cod Commission. This is independent of referral to the Cape Cod Commission. Okay? And my comment was.
Why didn't we do that first?
Well, we didn't, because he made a motion,
Oh,
okay? He made the other motion. I can't tell him what motion to make.
well, we were looking for guidance on that, but,
Okay. Bob, can I suggest, because there's confusion, you withdraw the motion and we do the Cape Cod Commission first?
Sure, I was just trying to get the historical significance.
Yes, which you did, we did. So we're withdrawing the motion.
I withdraw all the motion and the revised motion. We'll move to the Cape Cod Commission.
Okay, I think you'll make it more clearer for some members who feel that's the way they want to go.
That's fine.
So at this particular point, Robert, make it very clear.
All right, I move the Cape Chatham Historical Commission confirms that the home dwelling located at 45 School Street is a contributing structure in the National Historic Register District.
second,
All right, we're only voting now that it's a contributing structure in the National Register District.
right. I seconded it.
Yes. So we're only voting, Robert, is that this structure is in a
Yes.
contributing structure to National Register District. That doesn't say we refer it or not, just that it is contributing. And I think we've considered yes.
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
could be, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's go part two relative to Cape Cod Commission and get that out of the
Okay. I move the Chatham Historical Commission find the materials presented this date showing that proposed alterations, additions, and renovations do constitute a substantial alteration to a contributing structure located in the NHRD, and therefore referral to the Cape Cod Commission for review is necessary.
second,
Okay, discussion. And I'm sorry for the confusion. Bob chose to go the other way first. This is a referral to the Cape Cod Commission. There's no time on that, okay? And you feel that this is a substantial alteration. I think we've had enough discussion that some members feel it is a substantial alteration relative to the streetscape, or not, or we feel we have a compromise here. So that's the motion, and we still, if we decide, can also go back and impose a demolition delay. And that is done as a check, if you will, on the whole process to ensure that something happens with the Cape Cod Commission, that even if the Cape Cod Commission's approve it, and we still feel that it is not a good solution, that we feel we want to delay until the owner does in fact make the changes we agree he should make. Is that clear enough, Robert?
Perfectly clear. I'm just, when I give my vote, I want to just comment as I give my vote.
Well, can you comment now?
Well,
Let's
I
have
would
a
like.
discussion. I'd rather have discussions now and then a clear
I'm going to
vote.
be frank with you, Frank. I'm sorry about the
Show
pun.
that.
That it seems like punting a little to another body that's going to do what some people feel is the right thing, and maybe I sort of sympathize with it, but it's punting. And I would like a commission to have on record how most of us feel, and quite a few of us felt it shouldn't be delayed.
Yeah,
And I hope we get a chance to do that in addition to the,
okay. So right now you're voting yes or no to refer it to the commission?
yes.
Yes.
no,
yes,
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. Robert was,
Yes.
yes. And Steph, no? Janet?
yes.
Yes? Nancy?
I'm not sure. Come back to me, please.
Say again?
Can you return to me? I'm not sure yet.
All right. Bob?
Yes.
Peter?
No.
Okay. And the chair votes yes. So we have myself, Bob, and Janet voting yes. Stephanie, yours was a no vote?
yes.
Okay, I apologize. And Nancy and Robert was a yes vote. And so at the present time, it's 4-2. Nancy?
No.
No. Okay. All right, unfortunately, we have a consensus to refer to the Cape Cod Commission, but we can or cannot impose a demolition delay if we feel it's fit. Bob, I throw it back to you, at least to get something on the table one more time.
Refresh my recollection, did we vote down the 6 or?
We didn't vote it down, we just never completed the vote.
Okay.
The question is,
Got it.
What, I raised the issue of maybe we shouldn't be thinking about that. So, go ahead. Maybe we shouldn't be thinking about 17 months, that we should make it less.
Right.
But that's my opinion only.
All right, Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done. Sorry. Chatham Historical Commission also finds that the proposed work to be done dated July 7th, 2026, will materially diminish the historic significance of the building. Therefore, the commission imposes a demolition delay in the amount of 6 months.
Okay, was there a second?
Second,
May I ask a question?
Sure, Ken.
If those 6 months or whatever go by, because it's been referred to the commission, can they knock it down?
Can they knock it down?
Not our decision.
No,
Okay,
they can't do it during the 6 months.
right,
Let's
but after
Let's put it
that,
this way. The Cape Cod Commission Act that's the priority. So at this particular time, everything is on hold as far as Chatham is concerned, because they have to go to the Cape Cod Commission. After the Cape Cod Commission hopefully can take just 1 or 2 months. We're imposing a delay that further asks the applicant to reconsider it. Okay? Yes.
so, oh,
Go ahead.
There's no application to knock it down at all.
No, but they could.
yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But they could, yes.
not knock it down, Frank, at the
They
end
could
of
put
this.
an application, I'm referring to her question. If they put an application to demolish it, yes, they could.
He said
Thank you very
when it expires after 6 months, could they
Yeah,
knock it
6
down?
months,
They
yes.
can't.
Yes. Go ahead, Joanne.
so, is there a problem with just referring it to the Cape Cod Commission and leaving it at that? In other
You
words,
can vote no. Yes, you can vote no.
no, but I'm
You
asking.
don't have to impose a demolition delay.
Yeah, I mean,
You can say
wouldn't,
no and-
wouldn't they wait until they heard back from the Cape Cod Commission?
No, we have to do it now.
They have
Nancy, let her finish, Nancy. You got it? Janet? We don't have to do it now, but we can do it now. But you can't do it again. This is the time you have to make the decision.
Oh,
This is the hearing.
This is it.
This is it. They don't come back to us.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, in other words, I think that's what you're referring to. Do they come
Yeah.
back to us? No, absolutely not. This is it. This is the last bite of the apple, if you want to put it another way.
So in other words, this all can be simultaneously going on, the Cape Cod Commission weighing in and suggesting that they reconsider what they're doing, and the 6-month delay that they can reconsider. That all can be going on at the same
At
time?
the same time.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I'm voting yes.
Okay. Nance?
No.
Bob?
Yes.
Peter?
No.
Yes.
Do you want us to vote down here?
Of course.
I'm sorry, I thought you did vote.
We didn't vote. She
Okay, I'm
voted.
sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so we did not pose a demolition delay. All right, whatever that means.
I was gonna leave
I'm
it.
sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're confused, guys. It's not an easy thing.
No.
Okay? And I'm trying my best to make it understanding, but I guess we had more confusion. So we just referred an application to the Cape Cod Commission. Bob, can you put some language together for me for referral?
Well, as you know, the building commissioner makes the referral, so.
Yes, but he is going to be looking for us to make the,
Yes, I will put together some information
Thank you
to
very much.
include in the referral.
I'm sorry, but here we go. All right, we're moving on. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your cooperation. Too long. Okay. 90 School Street, please come forward.
Old Harbor Road.
Sorry about that. 90 Old Harbor Road. I got School Street on the mind. 26015, this is a continuation from the June 16th meeting. I appreciate the changes, and to make this a quick one, because in some ways, you did take and most, if not all, of the changes which were discussed by the commission and also the, Mr. Doherty, the former owner of the property. And, but having said that, why don't you just summarize where you are?
Great. Thank you. I have a quick context to add to the project. So hello to members of the commission. Thank you for your time today. Chance to give you more context on the project than we had time for in the last meeting and update you on revisions made since the last meeting. My wife and I purchased the property at 90 Old Harbor Road in 2018. At the time, the house had sat vacant for years, having last served as a real estate office. We fell in love with its character, and we understood even then that a major renovation would eventually be necessary to carry the house safely into future generations. At the time, we made only minimal changes at first, enough to live in for 5 or 6 years before undertaking the larger work the house would truly need. That timeline caught up with us over the last few years. The foundation wasn't built to the frost line. The house leans nearly 6 inches from one side to the other. Nearly every year we've owned it, we faced a major system failure, mechanical, sewage, plumbing, and last fall electrical. Then this past February, a pipe burst and caused extensive interior damage, and the house is currently unlivable, and it would be unwise and wasteful of the historic fabric to repair that damage without assessing the underlying structural work at the same time. We want to be clear, preserving the historical character of this house matters deeply to us. We are not proposing to alter the appearance of the historical portion of the home. We intend to preserve the exterior historical nature and streetscape almost fully intact. I should also mention we are preserving countless interior historical gems that include the Good Morning staircase, a fireplace complex that runs through multiple rooms, original doors and moldings. The new addition will replace a non-historic 1960s addition that is far less sympathetic to the house's character than what we're proposing. And where that addition currently has a rubber roof, our plans now call for cedar roof shingles based on your feedback from the last meeting. We took the commission's feedback from the last meeting very seriously. Based on the 4 concerns raised at the last meeting, we've revised the dormer type to A dormers in the south elevation, adjusted window configurations on the addition to better match the historic portions of the house, reposition the location and pitch of the dormers on the addition to reduce their visibility from the main elevations. We've also committed to the cedar shingle roof at considerable additional cost in place of the rubber roof the non-historic addition has carried for many years. We believe this revised plan fully addresses the commission's concerns that were brought up at the last meeting and is consistent with other projects in town. On a personal note, we have 4 children, including 2 girls who leave for college in 2 years. We'd love to have them have the chance to spend time in this house before then. And we can't use the house at all this year because of the damage, and we can't begin the work it needs without your approval today. We hope you'll support our plan to save this home for the next generation. Our architect, Jack Kemper, builder Bill LaPlante, who has renovated many homes across Chatham, Orleans, and the Cape, are here to answer any further questions or add any more context that you'll need. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, as I said in the beginning, I appreciate pretty much all the changes we discussed, and I think you articulated very well, in my opinion. But any other questions from the members? Nancy? Questions?
No.
Nope. Bob?
No, I'm fine with the changes.
Peter?
No, I'm good with the changes.
Maura? Any comments? Good? All right, well, get an A+ on this one. You have a question now?
I have something to read into the record, I believe.
Okay, fine, sure, go and do that, appreciate that.
We have a letter from Abigail and David Doherty. Relative to the above referenced property, my wife and I have reviewed the revised plans as submitted by the applicant. Our particular interest in this project was prompted by the fact that 90 Old Harbor Road had been owned by my wife's family for 59 years, from 1956 to 2015. The revised plans have addressed all 4 of the concerns we had as set forth in our previous letter dated June 15, 2026. Accordingly, we fully support the applicant's revised addition and renovations. In addition, we congratulate the owners on their desire and willingness to preserve the historical integrity of this beautiful 1775 Full Cape residence.
Okay, that was what I was trying to articulate earlier, where David Doherty was very pleased with this house. And not, you know, he's a citizen, but still, I think he captured some of the issues, and I really appreciate it. Is it going to be a full-time home for you?
Eventually.
Yeah, that's what happens. I know, I bought a cottage, now it's not a cottage, anyway, but it changes. Well, okay, I think we could take a couple of quick votes, move on. Bob?
I move the Chatham Historical Commission find that the building located at 90 Old Harbor Road is historically significant because it is in whole or part 75 years old or more. And the commission also finds it's associated with one or more personal historical persons or events in the economic and political history of the town, and it possesses architectural value significance in terms of period and style.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Okay, Bob?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right, part two.
Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done. Chatham Historical Commission finds the proposed work to be done dated July 6, 2026, will not materially diminish the historic significance of the building, and therefore the commission does not impose a demolition delay.
Second?
Second?
Thank you. Any other discussion? Again, just the only discussion. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, and it's not always a situation where our comments are taken, you know, and it gets to me more, but thank you very much. Okay, we'll do a
Do you
quick
want us to vote?
Don't we vote?
Yes, you do. I'm going to vote right now.
Oh, okay.
It was discussion. I wish you two ladies would decide that I'm running the meeting, and if you don't want, if you want to run the meeting, I'll turn it over. Okay? I'm looking over here.
We're trying to get you out of
Thank you.
here.
So my wife, Joan? Okay. I got 3 wives. All right. Bob,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Steph,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Robert Wilson?
Yes.
That was a yes, Robert?
That was a yes.
Thank you very much. Didn't hear it. Peter Donovan?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Considering the time we spent on that, we had a good outcome. All right, I am not going to take a break. We're going to press on. Nancy has a deadline, and I would like to respect that because I also have a deadline too. All right, so any other objections? You could take an individual break.
Nope.
All right, here we go. 297, oops, excuse me, 44 Independence Lane, 26016. Come on up.
You guys are up, Sam.
Mr. Strybert is on the HBDC, so seeing what we go through, he can have a lot of empathy for the discussions that take place when you have an historic house. Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Sam Strybert. I'm the architect on 44 Independence Lane. We've, just to make it as short as possible,
Yes,
a
appreciate
number
that.
of, this house was moved to this location in October of '78. The foundation was finally added in 79, and they have added on the north side of the house a primary bedroom and a family sitting area. So those areas we're not touching. We have found a number of problems that the owners have experienced and would like to correct. The most significant one is a central stairway that does not meet Massachusetts code, egress code for stairways. 2'6" width, 9 3/4 inch riser, an 8 1/4 inch tread. All are sub conditions for the Massachusetts State Code. So widening a stairway and lengthening a stairway involves structural changes to the framing inside, which has already been, since the move, the first floor framing is all new. So the first floor of flooring is been added to. So that's the main thing that's generating our look at changing the second floor and the first floor. We're lengthening, adding 5.5 feet to the width of the house, going towards the rear. All changes are in the rear, and of course, some go to the south side. It involves, as I said, adding a new wall and a new roof. The new roof is required because of the headroom that it provides. So then this would affect a family bathroom on the second floor, adding a shower that doesn't exist today. They will add more storage space, which has been needed. They improve the bathroom on the first floor. The width of the bathroom is 3.5 feet, and we'll be enlarging it to 5 feet, which is sort of a standard.
Okay. Thank you.
In the back, because we are adding 5 feet, 5.5 feet to the house, we have to move, rebuild the deck that's there, and we're going to make it a little bit larger. So, but it's basically a ground level deck. And then there's an egress stair that they added when they added the primary bedrooms, and that stair becomes less obtrusive. So that's pretty much the run of the changes. We're tried to, well, by necessity, isolate those change work into the middle of the house, middle of the structure of the second floor and the roof. And this provides, right now they have no view out to the southwest, which is their best view because there's a conservation area that's been developed there. So by moving a wall, we were able to put better windows in and clean up the whole look of the back of the house and give them some privacy outdoors. So that's pretty much
All right. Well, thank you very much.
the requirements.
I think the plans are very explicit, and, this is interesting. I mean, this property is only 76 years old, and it just, under the wire, or I guess under the wire if it's positive, and maybe the fact that 76 is negative, because then you come under this Cape Cod Commission, and it's something we angst a lot about, that there's a lot of houses in town which are going to be 76 years old, and we're going to be dealing with these, and are they truly historic or not? So the first question here, there is no Form B on the property. It was listed as a no, and what that means is not that we didn't think it was a nice house, but our preservation consultant said, well, I don't really know if it's historic or not. So that's really the issue that we're going to address. But I appreciate the fact that, you've come to us and done this, which was required, by this current statute. But, so let's very quickly address the issue of whether or not we consider the house historically significant. If we do, then we'll proceed to part 2, but if not, we'd then motion to not impose a delay. So Any other comments about historic significance? Robert?
Yes, I did visit the house, and I'm really impressed with how old it looks for being 19,
Yeah.
just barely over 76. So I would say it does appear to be historic to me. And,
Okay.
and maybe 20 years from now, it'll be more appreciated as being old.
Right. Steph?
I don't feel it's old.
Good. Janet?
Well, it's historic. Sorry, it's historic by definition, and it's, but I don't know that anyone really important lived there. In the history of Chatham, that's what they look for. It's a hard call.
Okay. Nance?
Houses we've passed through.
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Bob?
I agree. I don't, I agree with Mr. Wilson that it does look like a historic house, but I don't think that's enough to do that because it doesn't, that's not one of the criteria here. So I would find it not historically significant.
Yeah.
Peter?
I would agree with Bob. I wouldn't find it historically significant.
Would not.
Would not.
Maura? I agree. Okay. And I guess I agree. So why don't we take a motion relative to historic significance
Okay.
and whether or not we impose a delay?
I move the Chatham Historical Commission finds that the building located at 44 Independence Lane is not historically significant because it does not meet any of the definitional criteria in Section 158-2 A, B, or C of the bylaw. Therefore, the commission does not impose a demolition delay.
Is there a
A second.
Thank you. Okay. Just a discussion, I just realized, in my view, it's probably historic from a point of view of good old Bill Appleyard lived there. And he was a significant part of Chatham, but not the criteria. So let's take a vote. Robert?
Just to add my judgment, as it appears to be historic, is item C there. The form and shape and so on is evocative of the past. Item C, it qualifies, so.
All right, so is
that's
that a
fine.
yes or no historic
Well,
significance?
as soon as you go to the vote, I'll vote, but
Vote, I think he's doing.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear
you're
you.
doing the vote now?
Yes.
Has someone proposed something?
Yes.
We have a motion and now a second.
Okay.
We have a motion second, so we're going to take a vote.
Okay, you do the normal order, or am I?
You're going first.
I'm going
Just
first.
happened to look at you, and I'm trying to get it moving.
Okay, I'll be the only one to say no.
No. Okay, we'll go backwards. Janet,
What's the vote?
historic significant, yes or no?
Oh, so, no.
Okay. Nancy?
The motion is that it is not, so I would say yes to the motion, correct?
It's not historic. If
Oh.
you want,
Oh, thank you for clarifying that.
okay. So we're
That's
going to
what
go back.
I was looking for clarification on this. Thank you,
right.
Nancy.
The motion,
What's the motion?
Bob, can you repeat
It's not
the motion?
historically significant? Is that it?
Correct.
Yeah, it's not yes.
All right, so you get confusion.
Sorry.
Nancy votes. Robert, we'll go back so people get it. You feel the house is historic significant or not?
The motion is that it is not, and so I'm saying no, it is.
Not. That's correct. All right, Nancy?
You said yes.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, she didn't say anything.
I know. Nancy?
Yes to the motion.
Steph?
Yes.
Thank you. Bob?
Yes.
And Peter?
Yes.
And Steph, I got you, and the chair votes yes.
Did I vote?
I thought you said yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, yep, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was nice to visit the house again.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
nice.
All right, we're going to move, guys. I'm sorry you're feeling confused. In fact, we're here all day. Okay, 297 Shore Road,
Oh, yeah.
26017. We could probably do this one quickly, too, hopefully.
Wait a minute.
Jesus.
297, okay.
This is an application for one of the most historic properties in town, 297 Shore Road, better known as CBI. And this property, there is a Form B. It is not located in the historic district. which is unfortunate, but I leave that for the future chairman, to maybe turn that street into an historic district, which it has very easily be. But the property has been for us many times, and the last one, I guess, was in '26, when there was almost a similar application. But why don't we allow you to go ahead and proceed and give us a quick overview?
Great.
And I emphasize the word quick.
That I can do, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Messina and board members. Teddy McCarthy, Hart Howerton, master planners, architects, and landscape architects. Apologies for those that went on the tour yesterday. I apologize that I missed you all. I was delayed coming into town. Application today is, as the chairman made clear, is somewhat consistent with a previous application. We are specifically looking at a number of alterations to the main building at Chatham Bars Inn, specifically removing existing windows and a portion of an existing wall at the south elevation to receive a new door, removing the existing windows and doors at a meeting room to be replaced with new French doors. In both of those instances, those are specific requests by the hotel for operational needs, and we do have elevations to reflect both the existing and proposed.
Yeah, it's gonna look a lot better.
In addition, and relatively consistent with the application from 10 years ago, we are proposing that all of the existing railings on the building are removed and replaced with a new railing that we feel more closely aligns with the original railing. The railing that is on the building now is not original. However, slight modifications to that original railing to meet current building code, which in our instance is a metal fin extension that allows for a cable rail to facilitate the required guardrail height for a commercial building. One item that has been added to that aspect of the Oceanside elevation for this particular application is the inclusion of new privacy screens. There are currently existing privacy screens which are in disrepair and really need to be replaced. In replacing them, we are proposing them being slightly more robust in their construction so that they will last a bit longer. They do project slightly further from the building as they do now, but still well within the existing deck. And they are slightly taller than the previous, but consistent with the height of the adjacent doors. The current privacy screens are not particularly private. Finally, we also are looking at a series of replacements and new awnings being proposed for multiple elevations of the building. So there are existing awnings, several of which are in disrepair that require replacement. And we are also looking at additional awnings being added to the Oceanside as well to facilitate some additional shade outside of existing guest room balconies. Within the presentation that we have all shared with you all, we do have two renderings that we have done taken from existing aerial photographs to communicate the locations of those awnings in addition to the elevations, just because it's a challenging building to read in the oblique. And those aerial renderings are consistent with the proposed color as well as the detailing, which is indicated on the lower right of this drawing, denoting the scalloped edge to the awnings themselves. I believe there was a question from the group on the tour yesterday in regards to whether the awnings would be retractable, and the answer is yes. The goal is for them to be retractable and be able to come in and out, given that one of the reasons that the awnings have struggled is that they're not retractable and have been damaged in storm events. Yeah. So happy to answer specific questions. I appreciate my particular PDF is slightly longer than some of the prior applicants, so I can guide you through particular pages as helpful.
Well, thank you very much. I just comment, just for members of the commission, there's a lot of new members. This application technically really has been before us once before. I guess it was 2026. 2016?
2016.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting, we did previously approve the change to the railings and the use of the wire. Quite honestly, in my opinion, the fact that it's on an angle like that is probably even better than before. It, you know, I think it'll disappear in sight, but obviously from a safety point of view. And I agree, the current design is much closer to the original design, even though you are maintaining the essence of that lattice work, which I think is very good. The awnings, there are awnings on there, and certainly in this day and age with the heat and, and pure energy, just keeping that shade so it reduces the air conditioning pumping away. And I can imagine your electric bill. I'm always surprised you guys don't have more solar energy on that property, but maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
We have few locations for it to be concealed, unfortunately.
I know. We put it over the parking lot. Anyway, that's another story. And I guess the other question was the awning, the railing, and the retractable. Yes. So I think we're in pretty good shape, from my opinion, but let's see what other questions we have. We'll start at this end. Peter, any comments or questions?
I visited the site yesterday, and I think they're all positive improvements. I like the awning color, and I think the railings will be good, so I'm good with it.
Good. Maura, do you have any questions or observations from? Yeah. Good. All right. Bob?
I'm all in favor.
Thank you. Nancy?
I would only, everything looks good to me. I would just say from the aerial that the awnings cover up a lot of the nice architectural details in the windows that, are so iconic of the building. I would hope that from ground level, they don't come down over it the way it looks from
Yes.
the aerial.
Yes.
And glad to hear the retractable. So,
Yes.
but, I understand the need for them. I think they're tasteful. When I see the building with them out, I'm like, oh, where's the building? But,
Understood completely. And yes, the aerials were chosen just to provide as much of a comprehensive view as possible, but
will they be less?
absolutely. The angle from above is
figured.
obviously extending
Yeah.
the read of that awning from the aerial.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I have no problem with it.
That's a very good point, and I often, when I drive by or sail by, what bothers me is the umbrellas. I doubt whether they had umbrellas in 1914.
Oh, I think they did.
Yeah? They probably were parasols.
They were more attractive.
That's right, yeah. Okay, Janet?
Yes, I visited the site yesterday, and Mr. Singer was there and explained everything, and I think it's going to be vast improved, and I have no problem. I would approve.
Thank you. Steph?
I agree with what Nancy said. It was bothering me when I first looked at it. It was so much blue and white.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looked like something out of a movie.
Right, it did.
And,
But I understand now, and I'll be for it,
yes,
But they're not blue. They're kind of a sage green.
whatever.
Yeah, it's very subtle,
That's correct. Sea foam, if you will. Yeah.
like
Whatever.
the sea. Yeah.
The colorists amongst you, yes.
Robert?
And I agree with all the other comments made. I think all these improvements are great. In addition, the French doors are great, too, for that utility room.
Thank you. Okay. Bob, motion, please. Historical significance?
I move that the Chatham Historical Commission find that the building located the main building located at 297 Shore Road is historically significant because it is in whole or in part 75 years old or more, and it's associated with one or more historical persons or events in the cultural and economic, political history of the Commonwealth, and possesses architectural value in terms of period, style, method of construction, and is associated with historically prominent builders, one of which was my father-in-law. And that's it. Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. All right, any other comments or questions? Public? All right, we'll take a vote. Bob?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Okay, we've got a part two to that, or did you include that? Delay.
Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done dated June 3rd, 2026 will not materially diminish the historic significance of the building. Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done dated June 3rd, 2026 will not materially diminish the historic significance of the building, and therefore the commission does not impose a demolition delay.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second?
Thank you very much. Any other comments, questions? All right, roll call. Bob?
Yes. Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Nice
much
to
for
see
your
you
time.
again. Okay, we're going to move along here, guys. 26 018, 547 Shore Road. Again, this is a chapter 158.
Hello, Leslie.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'll try and be as brief as I can. Leslie Schneeberger here for the applicants, John and Marianne Fooey, owners of 547 Shore Road.
Thank you.
The application that is in front of you is updates for maintenance to the existing home, as well as demolition of the existing 1.5-story L on one side with replacement of a new 1.5-story L addition. A quick point of clarification, we did talk about yesterday, I said the age of the home is in jeopardy, and I actually, or in flux. I looked up the Cape Cod Commission aerial photographs, and I can pretty definitively say the home is definitely no earlier than 1939. That's what the field cards, or the Form B says is the latest possible date based on the transfer history. It doesn't show up in the aerial map of 1938. So, and that definitely holds true with what you see on the interior of the house, framing material, everything else.
Don't they show 1919 to 1939?
They do. And so that, what I meant to say is 1939 being the latest possible, because
Yeah.
it's not showing up on 1938
Okay.
aerial. So as you said, I'll submit that in writing to whoever.
Yeah, I appreciate
check
that.
those.
If you
Sure.
can get that in the Form B, thank you.
Sure, yeah.
So the impetus of the work, one, as I said, is maintenance, is just replacing existing windows, replacing them in kind with mahogany painted windows, the exact same configuration, mutton profile, everything else, except that they will be double pane rather than single pane, and so they will no longer have storm shutters as part of the windows. And then the addition, the renovation inside the house and the addition related to it that's replacing the existing is really driven by aging in place. The owners have lived in this house for 30 years, and soon it will be even more of a home for them to be here longer, and are beginning to see reasons for mobility and reasons to look for aging in place. So the existing garage and guest bedroom area is actually lower than the existing house. So you come up a bunch of steps, and then you are in that area. You go up a couple more steps, you're in the house. On the second floor, the same is true. In that wing, you're on a lower area, lower section. Then you actually cross through a bedroom, which they affectionately refer to as the Lincoln Tunnel, because it takes you to the outskirts of town as a way to get there. So this new addition is slightly larger by the numbers, which I somewhat had yesterday. In width, it is 2 feet deeper. In length, it is 5.5 feet longer. And in height, it is 2 feet 9 inches taller. It's still 6 feet lower than the main ridge and 2.5 feet lower than the 2-story addition on the other side. So what the new addition does is the garage is larger, and that is housing a ramp. And so the ramp allows, obviously, access into the home. As you saw when you were there yesterday, there are a lot of steps even to the front door. And so this allows complete access. And there is a fully accessible bathroom that's being put in on that bottom floor. And a dining room is being converted to a bedroom related to it. And then we looked at how to make sure hallways are wide enough with turn radiuses and the different things, and hopefully not to contain life only to the first floor. So the addition also includes a stair that is wide enough and straight to have a stair lift put onto it. We did look at some options for an elevator, and it really just added a lot of mass to the house that we did not want to add. So this was the alternative that we went to. Then when you get to the second floor, it's all one level. You can easily traverse across, and we made up for the bedroom that you climb through, that you go through, is now housed in the addition. I think that's about the explanation of it. I'm sure you'll have questions, and I can address those.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I was, as we said, I thought the addition was big, but, you know, in terms of the scale versus what was there, but, you know, I appreciate them taking care of this house. The foundation in good condition?
It is.
Yeah.
That's another reason I feel it's a fairly modern house.
And, you know, I'm thinking about the house across the street,
Yes.
which was a big, beautiful house. It was not cared for, and what a mess. And they came before us, and they, you know, it just is costing them a fortune, you know, to what they're doing. And if we don't maintain these old houses, they're all going to be, you know, money pits, and I'm glad they're doing it. And this is a classic house, you know, and classic Shore Road, you know, it's a beautiful street with some beautiful big houses. I know a lot of people don't like the word big, but that's what they are, you know, that's what it was.
But it's the right size. Just to note, if I may interrupt, it's the right size location for a house of
Yeah.
that scale, and actually, we're not doing the coverage that what that lot can allow.
Of course, yeah. All right, so let's see what the members feel. Any questions? We'll start at this end. Maura, any questions or comments? No? Peter?
Visited the site yesterday, and I think it's, the scale definitely fits with the existing structure, and it accomplishes what the owners are trying to do, so I'm good with it.
Bob?
I agree, and I'm all in favor of design for for disabilities access for all. So this is a great way of dealing with that and not having to move the house down the hill or something.
Okay, I thought we were done with that one. All right, that one's gonna last for a long time. Okay, Nancy?
I don't really have anything, just appreciate the replacement materials or wood and, not going for plastic, so thank you.
Janet?
No, I think the proposed design is an appropriate extension of the historic structure, and it will not diminish its historic significance. I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Great. Steph?
I'm for it.
Great. Bob?
Yeah, I did visit the house, and I think I want to call out and commend the removal of the storm windows and all new windows, and they look really great. And it really had just 11% increase in the footprint, so.
That's correct.
It's going to improve the living situation much more than 11%, like 50%.
Very good. Again, thank you very much, Leslie, for your good work. So I agree. So let's get some motions quickly.
I move the Chatham Historical Commission finds that the building located at 547 Shore Road is historically significant because it is in whole or part 75 years old or more and possesses architectural value or significance in terms of period and style.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Okay, this is a motion relative to historic significance. Bob?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Part two?
Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done dated June 16th, 2026 will not materially diminish the historic significance of the building, and therefore the commission does not impose a demolition delay.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any other comments, questions? Bob?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Come again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, last but not least, Mr. Marsh, come on forward. 2601,
She's online.
oh, wait a second, I got
This is the
confused.
architect.
It's 260119? Yeah.
Architect.
She's online.
Okay,
She's online, Frank.
who's online?
Susan Ledoux.
The architect.
Oh, Susan,
Hi.
I thought, what happened? Did we lose her?
She's
I'm
still
here.
there. She's still there
Okay.
up on the right.
All right. You can come forward, Mr. Marsh.
That's okay. I'll let Susan do it. Susan do
it much
better.
All right. Well, anyway, so again, this is home, and interesting enough, it's in the other National Register District in town, of the three National Register Districts, in the South Chatham Village National Register District. It was listed as a contributing structure in the district. There's a Form B on the property, and it's one of these craftsman bungalows from 1930. But go ahead, we'll steal your thumb. Susan, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Good afternoon instead of good morning now. Susan Ledoux from Eastward Companies, and we are the owners of 479 Forest Beach Road, and we are proposing to lift this house, relocate it about 25 feet to the northeast on the lot, and we will be removing the front porch and the deck, and it will become a guest house to a new home in this lot. So it's going from 3 bedrooms down to 1 bedroom. And we'll be glad to take any questions. I tried to make it as quick as I could for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. I think it's important we clarify what's going on here. One second. This is interesting enough, it's very similar to the first application. We have a contributing structure in a National Registered District being relocated onto the property. And of course, the question we should be thinking about, in my view, is relative to streetscape and what that does or doesn't do, if it is in fact, consider it referral to the Cape Cod Commission. We have the authority to do both. I'm looking over here because there was some confusion. We can refer it to the Cape Cod Commission, or we could not refer it to the Cape Cod Commission. We can impose a demolition delay or not impose a demolition delay. So very simply, I guess the question really is, the applicant has indicated that they are making no changes to the house. Am I correct, Susan?
No, they
That's
are.
correct. No exterior changes other than to remove those later decks.
Okay.
Just, and yeah,
And
so
I
we can
think-
relocate.
And I think you're going to do the re-roof it?
I don't know anything about re-roof unless John has anything to add to that.
Yeah, could you come forward, John, and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, John Marsh, Mr. Companies. We would be looking to change the roof shingle to match the shingle on the new house.
Okay.
Still an asphalt shingle, it would just be a darker shingle.
Okay.
Right now, it's more of a grayish, and it would be a pewter wood, which is a little bit darker.
Okay, thank you. Susan, I just wanted to get that for the record, okay? All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to start now relative to any other questions of the applicant. Yes, sorry.
I may have missed something, but why do we want to move this house?
So,
If they,
Yeah, you missed it, but the site visit.
Well, they have to tell us you.
Yeah, but I can't.
I'm sorry.
Why she's
I'm
asking the question.
I'm sorry, who's talking? I can't tell.
I did.
No, who, is somebody responding to that?
Susan.
Susan? Could you speak
Yeah,
up a bit? It's kind of hard to hear
Sure.
you, Susan.
okay, if you take a look at the site plan that we submitted, you can
Yes.
see where the house is currently and the proposed new house on the lot, and they sit fairly close to each other. So, as we've said, we would like to save this house and just move it back 25 feet, just to create a bit of separation between the two homes.
All right, it's kind of unclear in the drawing, it's a little complex. But Steph, did you get your answer to your question?
Yeah, where would the driveway be for this? When I was looking at your plans,
Where it is now.
no,
The guest house.
you'd have both houses going off to the same driveway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would come off of the, do you have the larger site plan that was prepared by Clark Engineering?
Right.
Yeah, it would come right off of, there would be a new small driveway coming off, basically where it is now,
Where it is
serving the
now.
house.
Okay.
And it would be right there, and someone could park their car, get out and walk to, in a straight line to the new location.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's faint. The driveway is faint on the plan, but it does show it.
I'll tell you one thing, I really hate the fact that you're not here. And with the fact that you could come, all of COVID, it may be easier for you, and, it's a comment, but not easier for us when you're not here to point, to a map, but let's proceed. All right, so we got that out of the way. Any other comments or questions of the applicant? All right, I think this is kind of straightforward in some ways, so why don't we just take a vote and see if we can move on?
The driveway's not very clear.
Well, if you'd come to the site visit, it's right off. I'll explain to you later.
79 Forest Beach Road is a contributing structure. I move the Chatham Historical Commission confirms that the home located at 79 Forest Beach Road is a contributing structure in the National Historic Register District.
All right, is a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, so we're voting to confirm if this is a National Register District and it is a historically significant. We'll proceed. Peter?
Yes.
Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Janet Tennyson?
Yes.
Stephanie Hamilton?
Yes.
Nancy Barr?
Yes.
Bob Lira?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. All right, part two.
I move the Chatham Historical Commission find that materials presented this date, June 16th, 2026, show that the proposed alterations do not constitute a substantial alteration to a contributing structure located in the NHRD, and therefore a referral to the Cape Cod Commission for review is not necessary.
Okay,
Second.
thank you very much. Any other discussion? Questions? Do we refer to the Cape Cod Commission or not?
No.
Peter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Peter Donovan, that was yes. Robert Wilson?
What was the,
I'm sorry.
what was the?
It's confusing because you restated his motion.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
What
hear
did you,
that
you
again.
restated the motion. Well, how'd you, maybe I got it. What did you say, Bob?
Let's hear the question.
You said referral or not referral?
Referral is not necessary.
Not necessary.
Okay, yes. All right. Peter? We'll do it again.
Yes.
All right. Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Janet Tennyson?
Yes.
Stephanie Hamilton?
Yes.
Nancy Barr?
Yes.
Bob Lira?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
One second.
Want
We
it-
got to do the one.
Demolition
Yeah,
delay.
You're not done yet.
Hold on. Won't take long.
One more.
I move the Chatham Historical Commission finds that the building located at 79 Forest Beach Road is historically significant because it is in whole or part 75 years old or more and is located within a historic district.
Second.
Okay. We'll start at the end. Peter?
Yes.
Okay. Robert Wilson?
Yes.
Janet Tennyson?
Yes.
Stephanie Hamilton?
Yes.
Nancy Barr?
Yes.
Bob Lira?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Did we get them? Oh, the referral.
Chatham Historical Commission also finds the proposed work to be done dated June 16th, 2026, will not materially diminish the historic significance of the building, and therefore the commission does not impose a demolition delay.
Second.
Okay, we got any other discussion? Peter?
Yes.
Bob Wilson?
Yes, particularly the new foundation's fantastic.
Janet Tennyson?
Yes.
Stephanie Hamilton?
Yes.
Nancy Barr?
Yes.
Bob Lira?
Yes.
Frank Messina. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Nice to see you. We did
Bye.
it, guys. We got 15 minutes, and we're going to make it happen. New business quickly. I want to just, if you look at my new business for your agenda, I wanted to have a discussion just quickly and possibly to get a consensus. You know, just as we had a complex application in School Street, complex in the sense of, is it substantial alteration, not a substantial alteration? What are the implications? What is our authority? And, you know, sometimes it's good to have help, and we did seek out, you know, help from the Cape Cod Commission, and they were pretty good, and I think it helped us. And I don't know, you know, if the applicant is feeling good about it, and I don't know about the citizens feeling good about it. We did what we, and I do, you know, appreciate the fact that people actually really thought about it, and you do. You know, we don't do things lightly, and even though some people think we do. But I think every now and then it'd be good to get some help from a professional, you know, like the Cape Cod Commission. And I got on the commission 22 years ago. We talked about hiring a preservation consultant, and we never did. And money is often put aside, and I know there are funds that we could do it. So I just want to get a consensus from that we feel that at some point on a particular application, we'd say, wait a second, is this historically significant or not? You know, somebody else's view besides ourselves. We're not preservationists, okay? I love the expression, well-meaning volunteers, God bless us that we're here. And I think it's, even though originally it was set as a way to diminish us, but that's who we are, and we try. So does everybody generally feel that we should ask to get some help when we do need it? Nance?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Janet?
Sure.
Steph?
I hate to see a new person hired.
Say again?
I hate to see us, the town, hiring a new person.
Well, we're not talking a permanent thing. We're talking about bringing somebody in to consult,
Okay.
you know,
then
an
I would
hour or
say
two.
yes. Then I would say
What
yes.
does this mean or not, you know? You know, like we had a situation, is it 1919 or 1890? You know, sometimes we need to know that. And Nancy's, I look to my preservationist here to the side, she's pretty good about, you know, going back and do it on a computer, and I don't do that, okay? But if you pay somebody, they, you know, they take a look at it. Robert, you agree?
Well, I don't really, because I've been here long enough. I mean, I've only been here XYZ months, but I've probably seen maybe 200, maybe 150 applications, and we've agreed, whether historic or not, on maybe 147 of them. Pretty well agreed, maybe 3. We've had some 4 to 3, just those 3, but we have Nancy on board.
Yeah.
And I think we're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. Maybe sometime in the future, if you really have.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about in the future. We're not talking permanent at all.
But I don't think we need to reserve funds for the future.
Yeah, Nancy?
I just want to say that I appreciate, I can do lots of great historic research. I am not an architectural preservation specialist at all. I would have loved to have heard Eric Dre's opinion about the work that was being done at 45 School Street and whether, in his opinion, the move outweighed the preservation and vice versa. From someone who has practiced as a preservationist in all aspects. I'm happy to do historical research, but I really am not an expert when it comes to the architecture.
I don't know the difference between a gambrel and, you know, there's a lot.
I do.
I don't even think it's about historical significance. I think it's about, does this application, impact the historical significance if it's got it?
Bob?
Yeah, we've discussed this many times. In my experience on the Conservation Commission is that it has the authority by statute to require the applicant to pay for an independent consultant, which was used sometimes in my tenure there. And in addition, the Conservation Commission has an agent who is well-trained in those topics. And that's where, in those 2 aspects, we're kind of missing the ability to, if somebody comes in from Mr. Donovan's firm and says, this is the way it's got to be done, somebody can say, no, it doesn't have to be done that way.
Right.
So.
Okay. Peter?
Yeah, I think it's helpful on some of the, especially the more complex
Yeah.
projects to have, an extra set of eyes on it, so I agree with that.
New Guy Mora, what's your opinion?
I think it would help the process in some cases, but also make the people who are,
Also help people who are filing application to feel more confident in the outcome.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to get a general discussion. Okay, guys, the next item is reorganization of the board. This is probably the last time you're going to hear from me. I feel, the issue of succession is important. I was appointed 22 years ago, too long, and my term is up, I think, next year. I'm not sure. But having said that, before my term is up, and I'm not saying whether I will or will not continue, I think it's time for a change. And, during the 22 years, you talked about 157 applications in your couple of years.
Yeah, thousands.
I don't know the number, okay? And somebody say, well, you know that address? My mind goes nuts, over all the applications. But when I first started, Nancy Ure was the chairman. Don Aikman was the vice chair, okay? And Bob Oliver joined us later on. Nancy was the clerk. And you're the clerk, look at 22 years, you still haven't gotten anything, you're still the clerk. Anyway, and I think about, we had one application maybe a month. We were in a trailer, okay? Talk about respect. And I think between Nancy and Don and Bob Oliver and myself, I think we've elevated the commission. And I mean that, I had a fight to make us get this room. They said, no, you go in. I said, no, we're going to go here. I said, and there's been a lot of fights, okay? I've been around Don and Nancy, the first thing they did were the Form Bs. The commissions itself we used to do the Form Bs ourselves. Goodness, what the heck do we know about it, okay? I remember the first time Nancy handed me a packet and said, here, you're in charge of all of these. Not Nancy, Nancy, you're. And I said, whoa, wait a second, what did I get into? So things have changed. We've professionalized the Form Bs, hired consultants. And one of the other things that happened early on was the fact that, it's not like I'm giving a farewell speech. The other thing that happened was the archaeological survey, that Don Aikman was key with that, which is important. And now here we are, 22 years later, about to potentially get the Nickerson Family Foundation archaeological digs listed on the National Register of Historic Sites. I mean, it's not Gettysburg, but it'll be on an historic site. I think that's important, and we've done all that work. We've done it all together. Marconi was just coming on board, and the Historical Commission did a lot to help make that happen. The windmill, which we restored later on, I guess 2007, 2008, we were very hard with that. That was very positive. I look about the negatives. We tried so hard, Steph, Stage Harbor Road,
Yeah.
and we got turned down, and it was typical of just not having the citizens. And, there was a comment here about the Old Village, and the Old Village people, it sounds like a band, right? The Old Village people, they're complaining a little bit about the inability that people can make changes to the streetscape. Well, guess what? It's a National Register district. It is not an historic district. It could very easily be made an historic district. The people in the Old Village do not have to agree. The people, an historic district is created by the town. So if the people in the Old Village decide they want to create an historic district where you cannot change the streetscape, they should just go to the select board, ask them the select board to form a committee, it could be the Historical Commission, and put a warrant at the town meeting, because the town meeting decides that it becomes an historic district.
Yep.
Thank you. I got on two sides, people telling me what to do. You guys are driving me nuts. The other thing, I guess, a very positive accomplishment from my point of view was the South Chatham Village National Register District. And I it's just things I've been involved in for my 22 years. Having said that, I would propose a reorganization of the board. Bob Lear is chair, Nancy Barr is vice chair, and Janet Tennyson as the clerk. That's a motion I'd like to make, if somebody was interested.
I will second that.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Said enough.
Excellent. I agree.
Okay. All right, let's vote. I lost my cheat sheet. Robert Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Janet Tennyson?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Yes.
Lear? Gita?
Yes.
Yes.
And I abstain. All right, well, thank you. I really appreciate it, and we're kind of done, guys, and we made it with 5 minutes to spare.
Thank you, Frank, for your service.
Well, it's been my absolute pleasure. Hey, before we go, one thing, before we adjourn, there's the windmill is in trouble, serious trouble.
What?
We don't have a full-time windmill attendant. It's a job that pays $16.25. So in your spare time, Robert, if you want to be a windmill attendant at the Godfrey Windmill, you can apply to Parks and Rec. But we do need somebody.
Is there a uniform?
Say again?
Is there a uniform?
I'm sorry?
A uniform?
Uniform.
I'll get it for you. But just if you know anybody who might be interested in becoming, it's like being a lifeguard. You get paid by Parks and Rec to greet people, say hello. Anyway, I look for a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Second.
Second. Robert Wilson? Yes. Janet
Yes.
Tennyson?
Yes.
Nancy? Stephanie?
Yes.
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We are.